The Retreat to Avalon is a 2018 novel by Sean Pogue, or Poage, or Poage, or Page, I don't know. Anyways, it is first in a duology of sorts, kind of a trilogy, maybe. There is a third book coming out. It actually works rather well as a standalone. There is a sequel that you should read this one before you read the sequel, I would say. And there's a third book that's supposed to be coming out, but I believe those are shorter stories and more of a prequel to this book. So, anyways, just start here, read this. If you don't like it, don't continue. If you do like it, then continue. Anyway, so this one's it is called the Arthurian Age, though, as you can see on the screen now. So Anthemius, or rather Antemius, looks to the bleak future of Rome. The Vandals have Africa, Childeric and the Franks make moves in Gaul. Britain has no more magistrates, but Sidonius says a Riotamus, or Rigotamus, a man named Arthur, is honorable and unmatched in battle. This bit is actually a historical figure mentioned by Jordanus and is here connected to Arthur, as he doesn't actually have a name in real life, as Rigotamos is almost certainly just a title. The year is 469 AD. Gawain is with Gareth and Arwell, and Gawain is our main character. They track a boar and seem to be around the River Clut in Strathclyde. Gawain is the main character, again, which is something I won't complain about ever. Also present are Efrog and his son Paradur. Gawain also has family and his brother Qualhaved and father Guiar. He has recently married a woman named Rian. And this, like a month ago, like very recently. And this settlement is called a Combrogi, the Britannic word. The Welsh name for Wales actually comes from, which means fellow countrymen. The story has a slow start. It's mostly about community and family, the relationships Gawain has. It's very homey. These Britons are Christian, which is historically accurate, but something often ignored in other quotation marks here, historical approaches to Arthuriana. I'm looking at Cornwell's series, which is awful. Anyways, or rather, very mediocre because of how he treats that part of it, at least. Then I won't get dragged into that right now. So Gawain dreams of being a true warrior, fighting off raiding Picts and making a name for himself that the older generations have. His name does follow the more conventional spelling rather than Guachme. And there's another character that is a son of Lot, who is king of Gododin, rather than Orkney, which is more historically accurate, I'm sure, anyways. So this is Modred, who is normally Arthur's nephew, is often related to Gawain, who is also normally Arthur's nephew. They play Creopon, the first I've ever actually seen of it, though Nennius mentions it in his History of the Britons. It is a sort of ball game. But besides this, like, really slowly sinking in, it's almost homey, like I said, cozy. It's really just a good taste of, like, a normal life of the historical period. It's really well done, actually. It's not the main focus of the book, but it really immerses you. The author immerses you, and then we get into the stuff that you probably expect more from an Arthurian book. So we do get tidings of war, and seeing as the Western Empire still stands, even though the Dominion is smaller and weakened, this war is not in Britain but in Gaul against Saxons and the Vessi of Hispania, which are, what we would call Visigoths. They're both Germanics people, actually, the Saxons and the Visigoths, but at least speaking related languages. And this is a war to aid Rome, which has left the British shores for some time. We get a good amount of martial activity, both training and war, as well as a tour via march. Arthur himself doesn't really appear until about a third of the way through, like in The Winter King by Cornwell, for example. This is fine, it works really well. Overall, there are some nice tidbits from history, some of the decisions I disagree with, but this is fiction, so it doesn't really irk me. It could have been this way. Most of these pieces are little things that add together to make a great whole, though. It's entertaining, it's interesting, it's very nuanced, and it's casting some good light on a period often just casually dismissed as the Dark Ages, so, or at other times romanticized or made overly grim. Take your pick, right? So anyways, I enjoyed those too often, particularly the romances, but not blatantly making all Saxons devil-spawned evil enemies is very commendable. The author does a very good job. The historical bits are largely based on the work of Geoffrey Ashe, who I haven't read, actually, but I'm somewhat familiar with. There's also a surprising reference to Bald's Leech Book, which is, I don't know, like I said, a surprise. Overall, very different take, and very fun. Falls a little flat in just some of the plotting of it, I'd say. It's rarely super exciting, but it doesn't manage to be gripping enough for the most part. I came away very satisfied. The ending, maybe not the best, but also it's going off of Geoffrey Ashe's work and just kind of trying to make it work. So it does work. I believe this is what we would normally call like sword and shield. Lots of like standing in line or actual like military realistic formation type of combat. So not bad. I mean, I feel like that could really have been boring, but it really wasn't. I mean, it wasn't super exciting, like I said, but it worked rather well here. So very commendable. I very much quickly read the sequel to this, so I enjoyed this one very much. And I look forward to reading more by the author. I'll probably read Henius next, fire to wager. So anyways, Lean from Loom's Ice. I'll catch you next time.